Town of Pierson regular council meeting for Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. will now come to order. Yvonne, would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mayor Samuel Bennett.
Here.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland.
Here.
Councilwoman Sergio Cardinal. Here. Councilwoman Lenny Richardson. Here. Councilwoman Brady Peterson. Here. Town Planner Mark Brett.
Here.
Town Attorney Christian Walk.
Here.
And Volusia County Sheriff. Yep.
Thank you, Yvonne. At this time, if you would please bow for the invocation. Dear Father in heaven, thank you for this day that you blessed us with. Thank you for everyone that is in attendance here this evening. Dear Lord, I ask for wisdom and direction as the board considers the business before us. Also, thank you, Lord, for this community in which we've been blessed to live in. And also, as always, I pray for the men and women that are in service in all different areas of, we have the military, we have sheriff's department, we have people in hospitals and all kinds of service. I just pray for their safety, and especially ones that are in serving our country in uniform. I pray for their safety and safe return. Thank you again for all of our blessings, and I ask all this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh boy. Yes. Okay, first order of business is the approval of the minutes for our regular meeting. Thank you. January the 23rd, 2024. If there are there any additions or deletions at this time? If there are none, the mayor would entertain a motion for approval. I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Brandy Peterson to approve the minutes for January the 23rd, 2024 regular meeting. Is there a second? Seconded by Lenny Richardson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. The next order of business is 5A, the ancient order of
I don't know,
Hibernians. And I've asked Christian to read this on my behalf, a proclamation.
Whereas by 1776, nearly 300,000 Irish nationals had emigrated to the American colonies and played a crucial role in America's war for independence, and whereas 5 signers of the Declaration of Independence were of Irish descent and 3 signers were Irish-born, and whereas Irish Americans helped to fashion a system of government for our young nation, and whereas 22 presidents have proudly proclaimed their Irish American heritage, and whereas in 1792, Irish-born James Hoban provided the architectural plans for the White House and served as one of the supervising architects for the construction of the Capitol. And whereas Irish-born Commodore John Barry was recognized by the United States Congress in September 2002 as the, quote, first flag officer of the United States Navy, and whereas Commodore John Barry fought the last sea battle of the American Revolution off the coast of Florida, and whereas in 1813, Captain Oliver Perry, an Irish American, achieved a major naval victory in the Battle of Lake Erie, and whereas in 1942, the five Sullivan brothers made the ultimate sacrifice for democracy and freedom during the naval battle of Guadalcanal, and later had the destroyer USS Sullivan commissioned in their memory. And whereas the Irish first came to Spanish La Florida in the 1500s, first as missionaries and mercenary soldiers, and then as planters, traders, businessmen, doctors, and administrators. And whereas 3 of the Spanish governors of La Florida were actually Irish military officers, and whereas Father Richard Arthur, an Irish-born priest from Limerick, who was appointed parish priest for St. Augustine in 1597, an ecclesiastical judge of La Florida, established the first public school in America and opened it to both boys and girls of all races. And whereas Andrew Jackson, whose family came from the county Antrim, served as Florida's military governor following its acquisition by the United States, and whereas Irish Americans since America's inception have provided and continue to provide leadership and service to this nation's political, business, and religious establishments, and whereas it is fitting and proper to celebrate the rich cultural heritage and the many valuable contributions of Irish Americans. And I think this is where you proclaim something.
Yes, I will proclaim this as a proclamation on behalf of the town of Pierson to recognize this, and thank you, Christian, for reading that. And dated this to date February the 13th. Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, our next order of business is 5B, quote on fire ants at 3 locations, and we have a quote from Hunter Pest Control. You have that in your packet. The quote includes 3 locations. Service is twice a year, March and September. Treatment will be for ants. We have an ant problem over at the different parks, and that is I think did anyone have a complaint on the ant issues that we were having over there?
Been all kinds of complaints from lately about lots of stuff over there. I'm not sure. I heard Sandsburg's not really firing. Maybe there's some on them here. Y'all have problems with ants?
I've only been up there a couple, Katie, for me, when I first got up. I haven't been up there much, I missed tonight's practice. I was there 2 nights, but I haven't paid that much attention to the ants as much as the grass in their play.
Did someone complain, Yvonne?
Even Christensen. We've had 2 people come into the office, and from what I understand, we paid per core to do this every March and September. But we don't have them anymore because we switched to Hunter. So they don't do the ant services anymore at the parks.
Oh, so they were doing it in the years past?
Yes.
They've been doing, okay. Area pest control before Pure Core.
Yep.
I got you. Did you look to see what Pure Core was charging us?
I could not find the contract for per core that tells me how much they were paying. How much they were charging, sorry. I could always give them a call to see what they will charge to do it.
Well, we got one more meeting before March.
Maybe get another, that would be good to try to get some more information and maybe get another quote.
See if we could locate, what they,
Okay.
what we had been paying them in the past, and then we'll be better informed on what to do.
Would that take care of the Sandsburgs though?
I don't think there's an answer.
Wasn't what the Facebook post, wasn't it Sandsburg?
I think, I know that I was on there, I know that, I think they might have handled some of that.
Yeah, I actually walked both fields yesterday, and they, with what's been done over there in the new grass, it looks, it looks good. It's a lot of the winter that, they seeded it in the, I guess it's a winter rye or something, and I didn't, right now it was good. Well, if you'd like to table this, then, per our vice mayor, the mayor would entertain a motion to table that till our next regular meeting, item number 5B. Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Lenny Richardson to table 5B, quotes fire ants at 3 different locations. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay, item number 5C, Beth Harper Rental, Newtown Center, our Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland.
Yes, this was brought up at our last meeting, and, I had asked Yvonne to put it on the agenda for this meeting, and I spoke with Beth, and unfortunately, Beth had a prior meeting tonight. And she told me that she would like to be up here when this came up before the council, in case there are any questions that she could answer. I said, I'm sure the council persons will have questions to be answered. So, with that being said, she said that she would put it on her calendar for 2 weeks from tonight. So, with that being said, I'm going to move to table this as well.
Okay, we have,
Until Ms. Harper can be here.
okay, we have a motion on the floor by our Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to table 5C, the Beth Harper rental at Newtown Center. Is there a second? Seconded by Brandy Pierson. Right. Oh, was Lenny? Thank you. Seconded by Lenny Richardson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay, 5D, Easter Festival, 3/30/24, and Earth Day, Town Cleanup, 4/20/24, Pierson Community Association.
Evening, y'all.
Good evening.
So, as y'all recall, last year we did the, Easter Festival, at Chipper Jones Park. Easter is not going over well. Lots of folks asking, are we gonna do it again? The answer is yes, and Easter is coming. So, the Pierson Community Association this year is going to be partnering with the Seville Community Association, and we would like to go ahead and do the Easter Festival, as I said, on March 30th at Chipper Jones. We would obviously like the town to partner with us again, like we did last year. So we're asking that the town, allow us to use the field. What we're looking for is a playground, the ball field adjacent to that. We wanna have, egg hunts there. We are going to be bringing in some food trucks. We are going to have a petting zoo again. We're gonna be doing some, basket raffles, things like that, and we'll of course have an Easter bunny. Don't worry, Bobby, you're off the hook this year.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We would also like to, have the bathrooms open for use, and we would like to use the garbage cans like we normally use for the 4th of July. PCA and, Seville will obviously make sure that everything is, cleaned up ahead of time, and we'll make sure that everything is cleaned up afterward. We are looking to get a tent, so that is something that the PCA is going to look into. If we can get the tent, we would like to use, like we did last year, the tables and chairs to have them out there for folks to be able to sit, come together, you know, meet with their neighbor, have some food and things like that. So we're hoping that the council would be willing to approve those items and partner with us this year.
Okay, yes, I think that was a success y'all had last year, and
On Saturday.
there's no conflict.
There's no ball games or anything going on?
Now that I don't know.
I would have to go look on this thing. Now, last year there was a ball game that did take place, but they were on the far side of the
Far side.
field. And actually, once they finished, they actually all
All
joined the
joined in.
festivities, so I don't see any problem with.
When is the saddle club? The first?
It's the first Saturday.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're doing it on the 30th.
Yeah,
So
that'll
they're
be-
on the
Okay.
far
and I wasn't there, but what I understand, it was, I was there, and there was a lot of kids up there. They thoroughly enjoyed it, and
I don't see anything on for 3:30.
Yeah. Good deal. Well, then, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have a problem with that.
9 to 2, thank you.
I think last year we talked about insurance, but I don't remember what exactly y'all
We
came up.
actually have our own insurance, so we would have the certificate of waiver from us, we also have the certificate of waiver for the petty group.
Cool.
I think we said 9 to 2, right?
No.
9 to 2.
I'm sure it'll be a big hit again.
Okay, the mayor would entertain a motion.
Make the motion to approve, the Easter Festival and Earth Day celebrations on March 30th and April 20th of this year.
If I may interrupt you before you do Earth Day, since I technically didn't touch on that one, for Earth Day, what we are looking to get permission to use is the town dumpster to toss the garbage in that we collect. We were looking to do sort of the same thing as last year, Mr. Mayor, you were there with us, we saw what we were able to pick up, and we'd like to maybe do that same thing again, is what we're looking to do, we just would like to use the town dumpsters.
Sure. Yeah, because we're cleaning up debris that's in the town, so yes. So, yeah, that's not a problem. So we have a motion on the floor for the Easter Festival for 3/30/24 and Earth Day Town Cleanup for 2024. We have a motion on the floor by our Vice Mayor, Robert F. Greenland, to have those events on that day. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sergio Cardenas. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried.
What time are you doing the Earth Day?
Kind of depends on the weather, we'd like to kind of do it early,
Yeah,
before the meeting day. Last year it got a little uncomfortable, so we're gonna play that a little bit here, probably starting around 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, is the plan. We'll be a little closer to that, we'll firm up the action time on that.
I just wanted to,
All right, thank you guys so much.
Okay, good luck. Okay, 5E, ethics training, March the 8th. Councilwoman Brandy Peterson.
it's that time of year again, and we got the email. This is the only class in our packet that Volusia County League of Cities is doing, and it's in Daytona at Daytona State. I was just talking to Sergio before the meeting in body 2. Florida League of Cities also does one that we can do on a web. If we wanted to all come here and sit together, you can do it at your house or whatever, later in the year, if you didn't wanna do this one. So, I guess, with that being said, whoever needs to pick which one we do, because we need to pay for them and register.
What
Yeah.
y'all wanna do?
Put it on there so
Y'all
I
wanna
remember to say.
do a webinar here?
But we don't know the date of it yet.
No, it would have to live on Florida League of Cities.
I'm pretty sure Florida League of Cities would probably be offering it in April, I think, or maybe one in March. I mean, it's just a matter of time that they send an email, so I'm pretty sure they have about 2 to 3 classes a year.
I thought I
via
saw
Zoom.
something today about it.
Okay, I haven't
I
checked
mean,
my emails.
I don't know, but I thought I
saw.
saw something today, so.
I prefer the Zoom calls or video calls, but I'd rather wait for the conference.
Well, we don't have to RSVP until the 1st.
So
So,
they need to file
that'll
next
give us
meeting
time
with
to,
us,
yeah.
That's probably for the March 8th.
yeah.
Everybody
Right,
could
from
just
March
choose
8th
the first one they
yeah.
want to make it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone could just, we don't collectively have to all go, so each member can just choose which one you'd like to go to.
Yeah.
Because that's, I know we've done that in the past. Sometimes some of us would go at a particular time and then others would do it a different time.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I just wanted to put it on there so we all remember to do that.
so we'd be aware of it. Yes, thank you.
So we would just email, Yvonne.
Yeah.
Anything else on that, Brandy?
But that was it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 5F, Little League, Brandy Peterson.
There's been lots of discussion about the Lily field and who's in charge of doing what. We talked about the last meeting, the lip in the field that somebody's afraid that it's gonna get hit in the mouth with a ball from the clay or whatever. In your packet, you can see an email that was sent Friday to us from County and Volusia Parks and Rec. I guess this must be the gentleman in charge of this area. He's been on family medical leave, he has a brand new baby, and his suggestion is we are ordering clay and plan to remove the lips after your season. So that's, I guess, maybe a phone call needs to be made, if maybe they can do this before the season.
Yes, because that's a little too late.
And I also spoke, and got a phone number for a gentleman that's over all of Parks and Rec, that if I need it, I can give a call to.
When does the season start, Katie?
March first.
When?
March first, Friday,
Oh, mercy sakes.
that's opening
March
ceremony, and then I think they start
Yeah, we
games,
got
they play a game that
weeks.
night, and then they also have games on Saturday the second.
And the lip is good 6 to more inches high. Like, it's a good lip.
It's better?
No,
It's a good.
Oh, yeah.
it's a really bad lip,
Oh, yeah.
6 inches or deeper.
The fields look so good right this minute because of personal.
Right.
I was gonna say,
We have
Stacy, I thought Stacy put something out on there.
Time and
Yeah,
funds
his
from
own
personal
personal
hands.
funding, his own personal workers out there that day to spread what's been spreaded out of his own pocket. But there are ants active on the field right now. We just had practice last night.
Their ants on the ball field?
Yes, right now, by the pitching mound on the big field where the concession stand is, we had practice there last night. We were, the T-ball team, and they were in the ants.
Maybe
Taken
don't
care
do
of.
it.
I've spoke to Katie several times. I was on Little League board, and there's so much work over there to be done.
Yeah.
It's not all Volusia County, it all went to Tom Pierson and Little League as well. Every year before opening season, the 4 or 5 or 10 parents that were involved that year
Rush.
would go up there and pressure wash and clean and do those kind of things. And same with Saddle Club. Saddle Club puts in their effort, Little League has to do theirs. I talked to Katie, told Katie to make me a list. Did you make me a list?
I did not, because I haven't, well, I've been waiting on Lindsay and Tom,
Right.
because they're pretty high up in it. I did speak to Lindsay this morning, and I'm gonna go to Ace tomorrow and get paint to paint all the benches in the dugouts, but the saran around them, I mean, I don't mind putting in the time, we got kids playing, and it's just the biggest question is, if we're gonna put all of our personal time and money into it,
Which
who's
usually
gonna
is money.
maintain
mound, just makes it higher and higher and higher, isn't it?
So they're making more problems, because they're, taking 10 minutes to pick a rake and do the edge line.
Mhm.
Whoever was up there the same day Shelby was up there, Tom was up there and was asking the county worker like, hey, can I borrow your spreader? We're gonna grow grass seed and fertilizer and get these fields looking right, because the only other option is to pull all that grass out and re-sod it. Well, we don't have time. It starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you don't have
We don't
time
have
to
the
do that.
money either. So the county worker pretty much spit in Tom's face. Like, he was pretty ugly with Tom, and Tom's like, I gave it right back to him, Katie, I'm sorry, I'm not backing down. I'm like, I wasn't there, it's just what was said, but I don't know. Well, hopefully, over the next few weeks, we're gonna get somewhere to figure out what's going on before y'all start. But at the same time, push Little League board to schedule a work day where, and tell the parents, and, you know. Thank you, that's all good.
So I'm thinking we might need to explore our contract with the county, not just maybe have you contact whomever, I don't know.
Just put a little fire on them.
And I was told that they think there is another contract since 2015, but me and Amon looked and we couldn't find
Couldn't
it.
find it.
We'll get it.
Yeah.
I mean, good work, a portion of our property taxes goes to Parks and Rec,
Right.
so,
Mhm.
damn, we're entitled to a little bit of
Yeah,
help.
we should get, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little weird that they acknowledge in the email that there's safety issues that have to be done, but we'll handle it after this.
Right, yeah.
So,
Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense.
Well,
So,
I'm gonna get on the phone with the gentleman's name that I got, that's Stickley Head, and see if I can get something done about the play tomorrow or this week.
okay,
I can't promise that, but.
that would be good. And,
Well-
maybe we need to revisit the, in view of what we just found out, because I'm not in the know as far as when the season starts. Maybe we need to go ahead and let Hunter treat for the ants instead of tabling it.
That's probably, yeah, I think so.
I think that would probably be wise.
Okay. So,
Hunter used to work for Pure Force, so I'm sure. he
well,
knows
we could always
ability.
go ahead and treat it now, and then we can get more information before, when it's time to
Well,
retreat.
It definitely it needs to be
But
treated before.
we need to take care of that now in view of, they're trying to play ball, so.
While we're on this though, and we're speaking about Little League, there's only 2 of us on the council now that remember this. When Vernon Abbott passed away, he gave $25,000 to the Northwest Volusia Little League. And if you'll recall, the president approached the council 8 or 10 years ago and asked permission to build a cover over the batting cages
Yes.
with that money.
Mm-hmm.
And we gave permission. I remember us giving permission to build the cover over the batting cages, but I know that has never been built. And I'm wondering where the $25,000 is that Vernon left Northwest Volusia Little League.
Well,
Do you know anything about that, Shelby?
I heard about it, I heard, because Kristen was holder of all that, and it's still within her.
They-
And I heard that was also done, or was given for that purpose and never fulfilled.
It was, yeah. I remember the meeting where Billy came to the meeting
Yeah.
and brought it to our attention. And he was wanting permission, if it was okay for the money donated to the Little League by Vernon Abbott's estate to build a top over the batting cages. And that night, we gave him permission. So, but, I don't know if that money's still available or not.
I don't think it's been touched, I think.
I'm sure it's there.
It's with her and it's just untouched.
There's also a $25,000 annuity from Shipper Jones that they pull the interest off of every year for Lily.
Mhm.
That's how it was set up, just so it drawed the interest and they couldn't take the whole lump of money in.
Right. Mhm.
Well, the motors were replaced on those cases, the machines last year from Pierson Supply,
Well, I think if, the town has already approved Northwest Volusia Little League a building, cover over those batting cages. And with that equipment that's at the batting cages, I think it would behoove the Little League to let's go ahead and get that built.
I have one other question regarding just the gates, like all the dugouts are supposed to have latches. I'm gonna be up there tomorrow, I don't know, are the latches, because they're part of the fence, is that Little League? Just so I know, cause I was gonna get a count on how many latches are working to be able to shut the gates, to keep the safety. How many are not working, do we replace them, does Little League replace them? Does the town, does the county, who's responsible for the fencing?
I'm not sure.
I'm not
The
sure.
town would be responsible, because that's our real property there, the fence, wouldn't it?
I mean, I think it's up to you. I mean, I'm not aware of a quote-unquote responsibility. It's up to the town to maintain what it wants to maintain. And to the extent that it doesn't want to maintain it, it'd be up to someone else. So I think you can undertake that for sure.
I think we should get the fence, what has been brought to our attention, we should get the fix where the gates will,
If I
work
promise
properly.
there's at least one latch on each field, out of the softball field and the 2 baseball fields, it's at least one latch from each field. Maybe those latches on one field and only one on the other field, I can double check it tomorrow and let any of you guys know.
Okay,
Chris can check it.
we can get,
Can
well,
you help me pay tomorrow?
yeah. Well, as a board decision though, collectively, would y'all like to try to get the gates working properly and get them where they, okay? Is that the consensus?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get on that.
We need to get Hunter to go ahead and spray the fields too.
So-
So because you tabled it,
You're
you'll have
right.
to do a motion for reconsideration.
Okay.
Once that passes, you can do another motion to pass it or not.
So with that, the mayor would entertain a motion to go back to 5B, which was tabled, and
I
authorize
make
it.
a motion to re-entertain item 5B, quote for fire ants.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by our Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to reconsider the 5B quote for fire ants at 3 locations. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lenny Richardson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Now we can rehear it so that the mayor would entertain a motion to go ahead and approve Hunter Pest Control to go ahead and treat those areas at the cost of $1,200. Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Randy Pierson to contract with Hunter Pest Control to service these 3 different areas at a cost of $1,200. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Lenny Richardson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay, anything else to do with Little League before we move to the next item?
No, we'll have Lindsay come to the next one for sure, 'cause she's the one who's in control of the money and sees what's there, and she'll know what to do about the cover.
Maybe ask her to talk to Kirsten about,
She's wanting to call now and be on speakerphone.
I remember at one time it was brought up to Kirsten, it was like, oh yeah, I know that's gotta be done.
Thank you.
I hope.
Yeah,
Has it?
yeah.
So I don't know if it's light another fire into that, maybe you can just,
Why don't you contact Kirsten? If you don't mind, I mean, if not, one of us can do it.
you can do that.
Good deal. And then we'll get Dan sprayed for sure, and then we'll see if we can't light a fire under the county to take care of that other issue before the season starts first.
Okay. Thank y'all for being here. Okay, item number 5G, request to rent a space at New Town Center for nail salon. And Maya Martinez, is she here tonight? Hello. If you could come and state your name and address, please, and let us know what you're proposing.
My name is
be fine. You're fine, you're
My
fine.
name is K29 East Washington. So I'm looking to open up a beauty salon actually. The reason it sparked interest is because I have an autistic daughter and I don't have enough time to have a full-time job. So, I got my license back in 2019 and I had stopped, doing nails because I actually went to nursing school. I didn't finish unfortunately, because of course, my daughter got diagnosed with autism, so, I had to completely stop working. And then I noticed that nobody wants to fit their, time in to be able to, work schedule with me and be able to work. So I was like, well, let me just open a nail salon because I can make my own time. And then a lot of friends just kind of, messaged me and was like, hey, if you open a nail salon, maybe I could, do hair or do, eyebrows or something. So, I thought maybe I could, put some, justice into Pierson and try to get all the women and the moms, time to themselves for a little bit. So that's why I want to open up a beauty salon. So, I don't know what else to say. This is my first time super nervous.
No, you're fine.
You're fine.
You're doing just fine. Doing just fine, Mike.
Right now, we're in the process of looking into renting them, getting them ready and all of that, and the contract, kind of negotiated.
Right.
As far as I know, and then we would be more than happy, I believe, or I would, for my vote, to have something like that in there. But I don't know that, like, right now, today, we're not ready to be
Right.
at that moment. Do we know, I mean,
Well, we can work,
do you agree that we're
Yeah,
not
I
there
think
right
that would be
now?
great.
I'm for it. I think that'd be
the
great.
more we can get in here, the better.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask if you guys would be opposed to, being able to have a small section inside of the salon, for mom who don't have time to like take their kids to daycare or something, or be watched by a sitter, if they could have, a space in there for the kids to be able to stay while they get services provided for them.
I think that would fall under your own business insurance.
And you'd have to be licensed by the, state and,
Yeah, I have like all my licenses.
you know. Well, childcare is a whole
Yeah, I have
another,
that one too.
you have, okay. Okay.
So it sounds like you have a whole plan, but that's.
I just wanted to.
How much
see
space do we
you guys
need?
were-
I'm eager, I don't have any smaller kids, but I'm pretty sure all the moms would have a peace of mind having their children,
Yeah.
watch there, same place where they're getting their nails done. So I love the idea.
Yes, I think we have some details to iron out. I mean,
I have a couple of other places that I'm looking to rent, but I just wanted to bring up to your attention, because somebody had mentioned that you guys potentially will be renting out a spot.
Yes.
we will.
We are very interested.
Sure will, and we're very interested and appreciate you coming up and bringing it to us tonight.
Thank you.
And we
Thank
have
you.
your email and
And
everything,
we
we'll
got
be
your-
contact with you once we get there, I'll
Okay.
give you a call
Awesome.
sooner than later.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item number 5H, updates by mayor. In regards to the lighting, I had talked with Fred actually this afternoon, and he's gonna need to order some parts for the two lights that are not illuminated. And then I did let him know that we wanted him to put the lighting, additional lighting down the center that we had talked about, because it's just it's too dark. We need more light in here. So he did say that he would be putting that on the schedule, and so we could get the lighting fixed in here. Just talked to him this afternoon. So is that the consensus of everyone, that y'all want to move forward with getting the parts and getting the more lighting in here?
Definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Okay. And I might come back to more updates, but I'm going to move to the next item, 5I, updates from our town attorney, Christian Wall.
I have had a lot of activity in the past couple weeks, mostly devoted to working some issues out with Family Dollar, and this has been in conjunction with Mark and Yvonne and the mayor, and kind of arcane legal issues. Mark, are you going to talk about this? Is this going to be on your report?
I wasn't gonna mention any arcane legal.
But, I mean, are you going to talk about the
Yeah,
situation?
I'll talk about it a little bit.
Okay, then I'm gonna leave it there because I think, I really don't wanna talk about it for legal reasons. And, I will say that I had a conversation with the lawyer, for the owner today, and I explained that they have no viable claims whatsoever against the town. And, I don't think he felt that that was true, but I made it clear that it was true, and, that hopefully we can work together to get this all sorted out. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Christian. Okay, item number 5J, update on town projects from our town planner, Mark Coretta of Zedco and Associates.
Good evening. As Christian said, we've been doing quite a bit of work with Family Dollar, that's 103 North Center Street, and you may have noticed that while the building is fairly complete, they have not yet stopped it. The reason why it has not been stopped is because the county fire marshal has raised a question about the adequacy of fire flow associated with that building. So let me just explain that just very briefly. Obviously, any type of occupancy, whether residential or commercial, particularly commercial, has a certain required amount of fire flow. You need a certain amount of water to fight a fire, depending upon the size of the building, what it's made out of, and what's in it. Unfortunately, when it went through the building review, the plans did not get routed to the fire department. So they became aware of the issue rather late in the game.
Because their engineer didn't do their job first.
Well, there are two different components to this. Regardless of what happens, is they are ultimately responsible for making sure that it meets requirements of the code. And there were statements on their plans that said they were going to meet requirements of the code. The fire chief, the fire marshal, if they had seen it, may have been able to catch some of these things and point that out to them, but that doesn't relieve them of the responsibility. Their own plans said they were going to meet the fire flow. In any case, we've done a lot of discussion between the fire marshal, their engineers, their architects, I believe we're now at a point that we'll have a resolution within a day or two. Part of the problem that we've had is that Mark Criswell, who's a building official, his mother is in hospice, so there's been just a little bit of delay getting this all taken care of. I think all the issues that have been worked out will need the building official now to file a review. So just to sort of finish where we're at, there's a certain amount of fire flow that's required based on what the type of occupancy is, what's in it, how it's constructed. There are many different ways to reduce the fire flow. You can do that by building, firewalls, sprinklers, all sorts of things that can be discuss this thing, and these guys can get on with, stocking the store and, getting it.
Has it changed since the building was built originally, Mark? Fire?
Yes, the building was expanded.
Okay,
And-
okay, I got you,
And so there was a increased demand
I got
because you increased the size of the building.
you, okay.
So, with that issue, I just want to say that I'll be here this Thursday, February 13th, between 9 o'clock and 11:30 to answer any questions related to people's land use and zoning.
Not the 13th.
I'm sorry.
15th.
Yeah, today is.
Yes.
Today's
Yeah,
13th.
today is 13th, so I'll be here the 15th, and
Closing
then
out,
March
do the second
7th.
reading.
Um,
On article, I guess.
There is a planning commission meeting scheduled for the 20th. I am working with several people's through applications. I don't believe any applications will be right and ready to be placed on that agenda. So I don't know if there will be a February 20th planning commission meeting. I do want to let you guys know that I definitely have a conflict with the next meeting, February 27th. And I may have a conflict with March 12th, if there's, I'll have hearings in other communities, working on projects, and we've been going through the process of 2 different communities over like the last 3 years, but it turns out they're gonna, like, get to more board meetings, one meeting right after the others, so being spread out as they normally would be. The 27th I will definitely not be here. March 12th, it really depends upon what the community does with their agenda. I may not be here for March 12th. That's all I want to report.
Thank you, Mark, for that report. Thank you. Okay. At this time, I'm going to adjourn this regular council meeting. And now call to order for this Tuesday, February the 13th at 7:20 p.m., a public hearing. So this public hearing has now come to order, and I'm going to turn the floor over to our legal counsel to proceed with at this time on the.
So just for the purposes of this public hearing, I think it's the town's intention to do a public hearing on all 3 at the same time, which is ordinance number, is this right? 2023-06, 2023-07, and 2023-03?
That's correct.
It's not 08?
There's 08 and 03, 08.
Oh, and I see, you're right, okay, so 03 and 08. Is that numbering correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Christian,
Oh, it's the property rights element thing? Mark, do you have any objection doing the public hearing on them all at the same time?
items, ordinances, 06 and 07 are related.
Related, okay.
Okay, ordinance 03 is a, comp plan amendment for the Muller rezoning. And then the next item should have been a, 08 has already passed.
Yeah, I thought we already took that up.
We can,
So we won't need to do 08.
we won't need to do 08.
Okay, and 3 is separate, so we'll do the public hearing on Mayor, is that okay? We'll do the public hearing on 2023-06 and 2023-07.
Yes.
All right, I'll read those just for the sake of the public. An ordinance of the Town of Pierson, Florida, amending the Town of Pierson Comprehensive Plan as previously amended, providing for an amendment to the future land use map and the future land use element relative to certain real property containing 4.9 plus or minus acres owned by Fidel Velasquez, bearing parcel ID 482101000191, located at the northeast corner of the intersection of West Palmetto Avenue and North Volusia Avenue, County Road 3, from the agricultural and rural residential use to the medium-density mobile home use future land use designation, providing for legislative findings and intent, providing for the assignment of the future land use designation to the property, providing for implementing administrative actions, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, providing for non-codification, and providing for an effective date. Next, ordinance number 2023-07, an ordinance of the town of Pierson, Florida, providing for the rezoning of real property totaling 4.9 plus or minus acres, owned by Fidel Velasquez, bearing parcel ID 4821010000191, located at the northeast corner of the intersection of West Palmetto Avenue and North Volusia Avenue, County Road 3, from the A1 Agricultural District to the PDR Plan Development Residential District, authorizing the mayor and town clerk to execute a plan development agreement, providing for the taking of implementing administrative actions, providing for the adoption of maps by reference, providing for implementing administrative actions, repealing all conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, providing for non-codification, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, is there anybody that would like to speak at this time in regards to at this public hearing in regards to these ordinances? If there's no one, we'll just adjourn.
There can be a motion to
Move
close.
to adjourn, or close the public hearing.
Okay, since there is no discussion, I have a motion on the floor by our Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to close this public hearing. There's a motion. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Lenny Richardson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay, then we call the meeting back to order.
Yep, second reading.
Okay. At this time, our regular council meeting for Tuesday, February 13th at 7:24 p.m. will now come back to order. And we are looking to hear the consideration. It's not labeled, but I'm gonna call this item 5 or 5K.
So, do we not have to do this other ordinance?
No, the 8.
The three.
The 03.
We're there. Y'all are splitting
We
it
gotta
up.
split it up. We gotta split it up.
You're going to do the public hearing.
We,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Okay, so the next item for consideration for the board is item 5K, and this is ordinance number 2023-06. And I'm going to turn the floor over to you if you do need to read.
I don't need to reread it.
You don't need to
Yeah,
reread
it's
it?
been read.
Okay. The mayor would entertain a motion for what your pleasure is of ordinance number 2023-06.
I make a motion that we,
Approved.
that we approve ordinance number 2023-06 and 07, correct? And 2023-07, as read by our legal counsel.
All three?
No, just
No,
two.
just the two. Okay.
06 and 07. 2023, I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2023-06 along with 2023-07.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by our Vice Mayor, Robert Greenland, for approval of ordinance number 2023-06 and ordinance number 2023-07. And this is the second reading.
Mayor, I do apologize. I think this actually does have to be done by separate motion, one at a time.
Okay.
If it ends up being
Okay, I
changed.
retract my motion and I'll move that we approve ordinance number 2023-06 on its second reading.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by our Vice Mayor, Robert F. Greenland, for approval of ordinance number 2023-06. The second reading, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Sergia Cardenas. Ready for the question? Yvonne, would you please give a roll call vote?
Cardenas,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland,
Yes.
Mayor Samuel Bennett.
Yes. So carried. Okay, next consideration would be ordinance number 2023-07.
I'll
I
make
make
a
a
mo-
motion to approve ordinance number 2023-07.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Brandy Peterson for approval of second reading of ordinance number 2023-07. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by our Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland. Ready for the question? Yvonne, would you please also give a roll call vote?
Councilwoman Brandy Peterson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sergio Cardenas,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland,
Yes.
and Mayor Samuel Bennett.
Yes. So carried. Thank you. Then we do this one.
We'll do, public reading, or public hearing on that.
Okay, so we did adjourn.
Adjourn.
Yep.
Okay, at this time, we're going to adjourn our regular meeting. This meeting is adjourned. Now we're have a hearing that is in session at 7:29 p.m. Tuesday, February the 13th. And this is a public hearing to hear ordinance number 2023-03.
Ordinance 2023-03, an ordinance of Town of Pierson, Florida, amending the Town of Pierson Comprehensive Plan as previously amended, providing for an amendment to the future land use map and the future land use element relative to certain real property containing 3.4 plus or minus acres owned by William F. Muller, bearing parcel ID 580-200000302, located on the east side of Western Avenue, approximately 1,390 feet south of Harper Road, from the agricultural and rural residential use to the medium-density mobile home use for future land use designation, providing for legislative findings and intent, providing for the assignment of the future land use designation to the property, providing for implementing administrative actions, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, providing for non-codification, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Christian. At this time, is there anyone would like to speak in regards to ordinance number 2023-03? Being that there is no one to speak in regards to ordinance number 2023-03, this public hearing is adjourned. And we're now our Town Council regular meeting for Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. will come back to order. So we were back to consider ordinance number 2023-03, and let the record show that this has been read, the ordinance in its entirety at our public hearing. And so what is the pleasure?
Is this the second reading?
It is the
on this
second
one?
reading.
Second reading, yes.
I don't remember this one.
Yeah, this,
Maybe I wasn't here. Are you sure this is second reading?
There's a second one.
Okay.
yeah, this, just for information, this is the second reading, and this has been the planning commission. It's been,
It's the Growth Management Commission.
Yep.
it's been through. This is the last,
Just want to make sure I didn't remember.
yes, and that's fine. Okay,
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-03 on its second reading.
okay, we have a motion on the floor by our Vice Mayor, Robert F. Greenland, for approval of second reading for ordinance number 2023-03. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Brandy Peterson. Ready for the question? Yvonne, would you please give a roll call vote?
Councilwoman Brandy Peterson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sergio Cardenas,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland,
Yes.
Mayor Samuel Bennett.
Yes. So carried.
You're a second.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Okay, and next item for consideration, under, old business, 7, fence around Newtown Center tabled from 1/3/24, Councilwoman Brandy Peterson.
Just ready to take the fence down, didn't know if y'all had a chance to look at it and see. Like I said before, I know the retention ponds still have to keep the fence up, but I'm ready to take the fence down.
I agree. It's very hazardous, in my opinion, if you are waiting to turn north or south on 17. The view is obstructed looking to the north. And I personally think it's an eyesore. I mean, how many other beautiful town centers do you see with an 8-foot prison chain link fence?
Well, I'm glad we took 2 weeks to look at it, because when I first heard the idea, I was kind of for it, and I know the stop sign up here is a little hazardous if you're looking north, pulling out on the 17. But I'm just thinking that's a very expensive chain link fence that we're gonna lose, and it's added security.
The security did not keep them from breaking in
No,
and
it didn't.
squatting here, squatting in them.
It sure didn't,
You get it somewhere else.
and that's when it's
Yeah.
unoccupied.
I think we already have some uses for some of the chain link at some of the other parks.
Let's just try to lose it, let's just use it somewhere else.
Absolutely.
I would like to say, I see both sides. I see what Lenny's saying and Brandy. I think right now we have, just, and I could, in the future, look to make a change, but I think for right now we do have a new security system, but it is nice to be able to lock up this campus. It's a large campus, and the replacement to be very expensive. I agree with the vice mayor that I think for right now it would be good to keep this where we can lock it up on the weekend. We haven't had any issues here in Pierson, but there are.
We can't lock the gate if the cops are using the gate in the buildings and stuff. I mean, I thought that's the whole reason why we haven't been locking the gate. The gates up here have not been kept locked.
Well,
The last council meeting, we all left out of here, they didn't get locked. And
Well,
ever since then, we have not locked gates.
I came back up and did lock them.
Not that night, because the next morning they were wide open.
I didn't notice it, but I did come back over the weekend and I did.
They were locked on Saturday.
Yeah, I came back up when I noticed it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not against re-looking at this in the future, but
Yvonne has a question, did you get a chance?
We would have to get pollution from the sheriff's fee for on the weekends because we had an issue with Surety Bank, so now the sheriffs are using our office on the weekends and when they're in town all during the week as well.
okay, well, we can let them have work with the sheriff's department, to, that's an easy fix.
I like to keep it at North Park every night, so.
Pardon me?
I like to keep at North Park every night,
So that wouldn't be a problem locking the gate?
no.
Okay, yeah. Yes, Robin?
The sheriff is usually in their here and they're on the property, isn't that sort of security, why we go with this?
Well, we have a lot of security, and we're not, the vice mayor and I are not saying that
Yeah, I'm
we're
not-
just saying at this time, we would like to keep the fence up, because it's,
I mean,
if it had.
we've got a deciding vote here. I mean, it's.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a
I'm
We-
deciding-
gonna
there's
make a motion.
But anyway, before we vote on it, or it goes to, before I vote, what are your, I heard you mention that you had a couple of places, what are your plans?
For what?
The fence?
Oh, I just know that it could be
Which
used.
part?
Oh, I know it can be
Chris,
used, but
could
it's,
use them. North Road,
I know it can be used.
ball fields.
Where are you planning on fencing at the ball field?
Some of the fencing along the outfield fence. I'm not sure if it's field one or field two, but the outfield fence could use some TLC.
That fence is too tall for the
Yeah.
outfield fence on the ball field.
I think so. I really don't know that, to be honest with you. I don't know what the minimum or maximum is. But it's definitely taller than what's there. I agree. No, I don't know, I just, like you say, it's a board decision, and,
I worry about the liability, pulling out of there. And that fence being a major obstruction to the town. I want to take the fence down because I think that a fence is not welcoming to people, and if this is gonna be the center of our town, then it should be someplace that they feel welcomed. I mean, we shouldn't have to feel
Well,
like it's a safety issue that we have to keep everything locked up, that it's not a safe place to be, because Pierson,
that's true too.
I mean, we're a safe place to be for the time being.
Town hall is supposed to be a public place where it's inviting to our residents, so I don't think we should fear. Or I don't like the fence either, I think as previously stated, I don't like the fence, I don't like anything that they put on the fence because it is obstructing. I have to go all the way up to the middle to be able to see both ways if there's any car coming, so.
Ryan?
Another point is where we've had two people talk to us about renting rooms, potentially more in the future. So then you start handing out gate keys to everyone because they may have after hours, business hours. If you're a salon, you may work till 6 or 7 and we won't be here. So now you're passing out keys and you're leaving that responsibility up to a tenant. So then if something were to happen, does that responsibility fall on the tenant because they forgot to lock a gate? You know what I mean? So I feel like if it were maybe just us on campus, it's one story, but you've got sheriff's office here, you're gonna have tenants here. Now you're passing out 20 keys to a fence, and whose responsibility is it to lock up every night and on the weekends? I just feel like that might open another can of worms.
Yes.
And to that point, if the option of the exercise is we're going to have businesses, it would be nice for people to know that it's okay to come up here and go to businesses and not think that they're going to be unsafe and behind that. Or restricted.
Okay.
When I first looked at this, I tried to picture, you know what, sure it's gonna look better if we took down this front part to where the parking lot goes out to First Avenue. And on the highway here, we've got to leave it around that detention pond. So, I mean, I was trying to picture what would look the best and still, you know, not do away with all of it. I was thinking if we came on this side here, maybe we could reroute it from where this parking lot begins to the first building. Of course, you take everything else down, it's gonna leave everything else wide open, maybe. If you take any of it down, it's gonna leave the whole place wide open. So,
I would like to leave the west line up and the north line.
Mhm.
That's our property line on that,
Yeah.
on the north side and on the west side. Mayor,
Yes.
you have a question?
Yes.
I believe the original purpose for that fence was to keep the children on campus so they didn't wander off, rather than just to keep people out. And I agree with Councilmember Randy Pierson, Councilwoman
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Katie?
I think maybe where the bus loop, just cut it off right there, because then at Halloween, we had the scarecrow contest that brings, you know, business and stuff. We're supporting our town by doing stuff like that, but I don't think, I mean, when Tom Larrabee was on the council and all the banners were hung, that was an eyesore and dangerous. And I don't know that those ever got taken down after the meeting that was discussed at, but that is dangerous right there. I cross it every day going back and forth to get kids, and, I mean, there's been several wrecks there, but I think if you just knock it back to where the bus loop started off of 17, and then you could come up this way, but I agree with him, you know, I see both sides too. It's not really welcoming, but at the same time, it's not 5-year-olds running around anymore. It's, you know, the safety's not so much a thing as the eyesore now. Maybe just knock it back there so people can still use the fence line as the decorations for Halloween.
Anyone else? Yes, Paul?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Paul Montel, 506 North Pine Street. I would remind the council to remind the audience to say their names and their addresses and to stand up and show a little respect to the council. And I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with the other gentlemen, Gray and Brandy, of removing that fence. I agree, it looks like a third world country. And it fits right in with that strip mall across the street, the way that works. Which I'm gonna bring up on the other thing. I mean, when I get an opportunity. But I'm in agreement of removing that fence.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, the floor is open for Mayor to entertain a motion to lay out what you'd like to do at this point.
Mayor, I make a motion that we remove the fence and leave the north fence and the west fence, but remove the First Avenue and Highway 17 fence, except for around the retention ponds.
Okay, everyone understand okay? We have a motion on the floor by Brandy Pierson to remove sections of the fence. It's laid out in her motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Lenny Richardson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay. Okay, item number 8, Surety Bank, tabled from 1/3/24. There was discussion on the, about Surety Bank, so the floor is open for discussion in regards to the Surety Bank.
I'd like to ask the other councilmen, women, if y'all thought much, you know, what we discussed at our last meeting in regards to not offering it to charity for sale, but to continue reading it. What's your ideas of?
Well, I have gathered some information pertaining to our expenditures at that building. The property insurance was $4,692. The power for that building last year was $8,860.38. The water bill was $705. The estimated groundkeeping, mowing, blowing, the whatever, was $2,184. The ADT security system was $1,029.60. The pest control was $1,200, and $1,605.92. So we're $592 short on our existing lease. That building's getting old. I spoke with Ryan, who was an accountant at Caldwell Banker, rental division. They recently re-roofed a flat roof, that the building was how many square feet smaller than this one, Ryan? Do you remember?
That one was, I don't remember, 4,000, 4,500 square feet, something like that.
Yes, so it was several hundreds, this one was several hundred square feet bigger than that one. And it was $132,000 to re-roof that building.
And I will say that we manage multiple commercial properties there. All the commercial roofing is astronomical right now. I don't know how that'll change in the next year or two, but and also insurance is making a lot more demands on that. We actually lost insurance on a property because the roof was 15 years old. And they had to sign an agreement that it would be re-roofed within 6 months to just get it insured. Then we were scrambling to come up with $152,000. So just something to think about.
Correct. I mean, you've got your HVAC system, it's not that old, I don't think. The generator's there, but I understand there's issues that have not been quite diagnosed with it either. What was the amount of the appraisal? Does anyone remember?
I don't recall. I'd have to.
You'd have to look and see.
Okay.
You'd have to find it. I can't remember.
I know on the county tax appraiser, the website, the approximated, assessed value was $380 on that property. I mean, Lord, do you think the bank would really be willing to pay? I mean, we're in the red, we're losing money where we've been. Okay.
Well,
380, 516 was the just value.
Well, that's why I suggested, instead of asking them to buy it, we would continue renting them that bank, that building, for the same amount of money, as long as they pay for the maintenance.
yeah, so in other words, I think what the vice mayor is saying, that since we're no longer, that's true what Lenny was saying. However, we were there, so we were sharing in the expenses because it was City Hall. Being that it's no longer City Hall then we would need to negotiate a lease so that they would be paying for the building, and that it would be operating where it would be profitable to the town. So,
They may not want you to do that. What we have to do is contact them and see.
I think they contacted Alon.
Did they?
Alon, did the guy contact you from
Same.
security? Wanted to buy it, correct?
He contacted me and said he had interest. He wanted to talk to the town attorney, he didn't want to talk to me about it. And then the girls from the bank have been harassing us on a daily basis, why they don't know anything that's going on. And I told her that we told them it has to go to council. It's not a decision we can just make in a day.
so we could he could contact it's Ryan, right? Ryan James? And,
Christian, have you heard from your attorney?
I spoke with their attorney, yeah.
And what, did he say he was interested in leasing
He,
it or buying it?
I think you said he was open to.
Yeah, he was non-committal about what they wanted to do. He was, I think his purpose was to get information from me, and of course, I did the lawyerly thing, and I said, I don't know anything, we have to go to the town, which is true, I have no authority. So I said, I remember exactly what I said, I told him it was on the agenda, and that y'all would be discussing it, and I'd let him know.
But do you wanna, I thought we talked about this last meeting.
Not yet,
Okay, so do you wanna lease it to them and let them pay the maintenance? If they agree to do that, you wanna continue leasing it to them, or do you wanna sell it to them?
What I think I can contribute on that is, I mean, certainly it's no problem for us to have a lease where they pick up all the costs, property taxes,
Exactly.
all
but
those things. I don't know if they'll agree to it.
We're
but
not gonna keep leasing it to them or renting it to them if it's gonna cost us money.
It's not what their lease looks like now.
And it's not, and that's why I brought it up at our last meeting, to keep the lease where it is. Don't go up on it. Just keep it right where it is and let them be responsible for all the maintenance.
If it is a triple net lease, it'll be 2 or 3 times more than what they're paying now.
What will be 2 or 3 times
Their
more?
rent. My guess, I mean, that's my estimate. Just based on what the councilwoman pointed out in the numbers.
So that's if we continue to make the, pay for everything, right?
Right.
and
Yeah, right.
that's what he's saying. So,
I think keeping the lease where it is and making them responsible for the maintenance might be a little more attractive to the bank. I mean, that's just my feelings. It may not be. I mean, what do y'all think?
right, but I mean, if you go to them and say, okay, X amount, and you're gonna repair the generator, and you're gonna repair this, and they're gonna pocket that. What do you think?
Why couldn't we do a lease of just, can we for just up high, whatever, if he suggested, go up the highest price we can, if they don't, then, try to go down the bracket, see where we can, I don't know, meet at, or a price we can agree, but start up high, because if we just get
Right.
to the money, with prices being this high, I mean.
Is not a good rule of thumb that just value of whatever I said, 380.
Right.
20, if you don't add 20%.
I don't think that's accurate. Oh, yeah, I'd say at least
For a rule
20%.
of thumb,
I'd say at least. But I don't
You're
think,
talking about for a selling price.
correct.
but even so, I really don't know what the comparable, I think this is a unique property. It's on, so I don't know if they have it, even that number. Presuming that it's valid, even under the 20% rule, I'm skeptical. I don't think we would know unless it was out on the market what it's really worth. That's just my opinion.
And like I stated before, you ride around Volusia County and on every block is a bank building sitting there going to shambles because people aren't,
That's right, it's changed.
you know? So it's kind of a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation here, I think.
That's why they pay you the big bucks.
Yeah. They made it wealthy.
They're currently paying us $1,600 a month, right?
Something like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
1,600, yeah.
1704 with that.
With that.
1704 with that. $21,000 a year. Of course, we're netting a little under 20,000. What we're netting, correct?
Yes. Paul,
It's a tax, don't we?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Paul Montel, 506 bank loan and rent out, split it when you walked in. One on the right-hand side where the water department was, you could rent that section out. The police are not there anymore. Then where our office was, or Yvonne's office was, you could rent that out. Maybe a florist, maybe an insurance agent. Let's look outside of the box as opposed to be worrying about something. If you go to the bank and you go, like the councilwoman said, start here, you can always go down. This is not a used car lot. They're gonna laugh at you. You gotta think that, and you're gonna have to sit down with a good pencil and make a determination of where the money you want, and then if you break it into 3 parts, as I suggested, you could probably end up, I would say you will end up with a positive cash flow. You can't run a business with a negative, that's for darn sure. Just a thought.
Thank you, Paul.
So, should we direct Christian to?
I do not want to sell it, I'll be honest with you. That's just how I feel. I think that property, years from now, is gonna be very, very valuable to the town. So, with that being said, I'm not in favor of selling it, but it's not up to me. It's a board decision, and whatever we decide, we decide. But, I think we should instruct our council to whatever a good lawyer thinks we should do in regards to price for renting or whatever.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Well, if you did go that route, I would just propose doing a triple net lease whereby all costs pass through to them. They're responsible for those things. And you could put an affirmative obligation on them to, you know, they could say, well, I don't need to fix this generator. So we could put an affirmative obligation that there's certain things that have to be maintained a certain way. But that could be your starting offer if you wanted to renew the lease past its.
I was gonna ask, when is the lease up?
I know that we renewed it. It's on 1-year terms for 3 years, and I don't know where we're at in the renewals.
That's true. Yes.
Mary Kay Hansen, 464 Harper Road. I think when we originally discussed this, we didn't want to scare the bank off, because we wanted to keep the bank in the town, because it was so hard to get up here to begin with after BB&T or Truist. So I think that's why you thought to keep the rent where it's at, let them pay the expenses or whatever to maintain the building, and maybe that would keep them happy or wanted to stay in town, because we don't have another bank in town, you know? I mean, everybody that's here wants that bank.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know what the answer is, I'm just.
Well, I was
We
gonna
want to
suggest
have-
that we still have a lease, we don't have to make really any decision until our lease is up to renew, either to rent it or to sell it. Would that be correct?
But they got to lose the money every month that we continue with this business.
Well, what was said earlier, we, of course, that was City Hall, so there was more of a balance there because it was City Hall and then we shared it with Surety. And that's true what Mary Kay said. This board, council, we made it attractive to Surety to get a bank here in the town of Pierson because we didn't, we need a bank. And I met with several banks And Surety was the one that came forth and said we would like to come to Pierson. So I think we need to keep that in mind in what we're doing, that we want to continue to have a bank here in the town of Pierson, because it is a benefit to the people here in the community. A good point right now is we can just maintain what we have, and we can look and try to get more information and see what our options are. And in the meantime, Christian and as mayor, I can talk with them also, because I did meet with Surety when we originally had an agreement that they did come to Pierson. So that's the main consideration. We want to keep a bank, I think, here in the town of Pierson. So the easy thing for right now is just to stay what we're doing, and so that we provide that service to the people here in the town of Pierson, I think. Yes, sir.
Only food for thought is because the sheriff's office is currently doing it. Wells Fargo has dissolved itself of all its physical locations. They sold everything off in Houston County. They don't own a building anymore in Houston County. So we're currently dealing with the one in Atlantic Springs, which Councilman Benson bought, and he basically leased back a portion of the property for Wells Fargo to put ATM there. And that, I think, is something to think about, that you have an ATM sitting on a rental piece of property already. The truth is, you don't necessarily want to put it up for sale and say buy it or else, because banks might not be buying real estate anymore. They might just be leasing them to put ATMs.
And that's true, what you just stated. In fact, BB&T, I think, wished they would have discontinued the lease, because they spent over $100,000 in putting the ATM there to the north, there at the corner of Washington. So they could have discontinued a lease and had the, but anyway.
Let's find out when our lease expires. When our year, that's the first thing we need to do, find out when that expires.
And then look at the terms
And
and
then
the
we'll look at
lease,
the
or
terms,
whether we're gonna
and then
sell it, or.
And in the meantime, we need to keep thinking, we need to maybe have a workshop on it
Yeah.
and figure out, put our heads together,
Yeah.
and figure out what we want to do, how to approach it.
Good idea.
Is that agreeable with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Okey-doke. Okay, item number 9, septic tank, new town center, table from 123-24, Brandy Peterson.
I think we only tabled, Christian, were you gonna look into seeing what we had to do to ask them to give us an extension, because we're supposed to be out of here, or
We
quit
are-
using their septic by September of this year?
We've started talking to them, and I don't have a firm answer for you, but the discussions are, we are definitely working on it.
The only thing I have to
Yes, and adding to that, we, well, I don't think we'd want to go to the expense of putting in a septic as long as we're able to stay on the sewer system. So hopefully, we can work out some type of an agreement to continue. Okay, that finishes the agenda. At this time, Christian, you have anything else?
Just one thing, I can give you the end date of the lease, I looked it up, it's October 31st of this year.
For the bank?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So we got a little time.
There's time, close enough to start thinking.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
No, sorry.
Our Vice Mayor, Robert F. Greenland.
Just that did y'all get this email that I got, from Robert Stacy? Town and three more, the town and me and two other people got it, regarding a piece of property at the corner of,
Yeah.
regarding a piece of property at the corner of Blackburn Road and County Road 3.
No, I didn't see that.
He didn't say.
Everybody was tagged in the email, so everybody should have a copy except for Mark, was the only one who did not tag into it. And I guess he discussed with you prior that, about this piece of property, and it's a non-conforming lot. He's wanting to talk to you, and he's on schedule to see you in March to discuss seeing if we could do something so that the lot is buildable.
I mean, that's something for an agenda.
Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
right, no, that's,
Yeah, so
that's
that needs,
fine, right, yeah.
and that needs to go, the process, it would be first to go to the planning commission. That would be the first step, so, to look at that. So that's would be my suggestion. Okay. Anything else? Mr. Vice Mayor?
There was another thing, and I'll be danged if I can remember what the heck it was.
Well, if you do think
I'll
of it,
think of it.
let me know.
Pass it,
Sergia Cardenas,
I'll pass to you.
okay?
Yes, I have a couple things. I got a quote from Rusty Peterson regarding the tractor. He feels certain it's the front drive shaft. The splines, he said, are just worn out on the shaft itself, and believe that that would be indicative of the vibration they're feeling when they're in full drive. So I asked him, I said, would you please, I asked Lewis, when was the last time that tractor has had its guts serviced? And he said, probably 5 years. So I said, Rusty, I want a quote on service and every nut, bolt, reason, everything, changing any fluid, whatever needs to be done to, the tractor. So, I got a quote, an OEM John Deere drive shaft, the collars. There's a list, I'll let the guys especially look at it, they'll know. Anyhow, replacing 8 hoses for a total of $3,175.02. And he said that if all the hoses are not in dire straits, they will not be changed. So they're $100 a hose, basically, for the hose and installation. So he said whatever's not in need of replacement, of course, he will deduct. But you wanna look at that, Bobby?
Is the four-wheel drive not working in it?
It's sat at Limitless for 2 months. Yeah. And they never.
Are y'all looking for action on this?
Couldn't really do it.
Well, we had. Wasn't this discussed?
Well, I'm just saying you can't do it at this point. It's not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda.
Okay.
So we'll put this down as an agenda item for our next regular
Unless
meeting.
it's an emergency.
Unless you want to declare it an emergency.
Chris? Pardon? We need it.
We need it?
I mean, is it like hurricane level emergency? Like,
It's the only tractor town has.
well, I mean, so help me. I just that sounds bad, but I mean, like, what does that mean? What's the impact?
The only thing that would make it that it's the grass isn't growing right as much right now because it's winter. So
Well, we'll just put this on the agenda for the next meeting.
That's 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Also, I have a legal question for Christian. If you could give how long does something, a hard copy have to be kept? Can we scan and,
Mhm.
cause that records room, some of that stuff is just godforsaken and needs to be avoided.
Yeah, I mean, that already exists under Florida law. I'll share it and explain it.
Okay, great, thank you.
Would you like to put that down also as an agenda item, Lenny, for our next meeting?
Sure.
Okay, so that and the tractor.
Okay.
To explain it for us, or you gonna do it?
I'll just say do it.
I thought so.
No.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
I have nothing further, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lenny. Brandy?
The only thing I had on there is, I'm sure, I don't know if most of you drive down Hickstrom Road going to 17 mile per hour. It's horrible.
Oh, yeah, I drive by. it
Here
all the
are
time.
the holes in the road, that's on one side of the road, that's on the other, and this is before it rained Friday. Went by there
I
today.
don't need to see it, I can drive down there every week, every day.
Thank you.
But we've got to do something about, cancel it. And this is a good picture. Gets worse, that's the only two.
Okay. So we need to, we'll put that down as an agenda item and see what we can come up with, to make
I see
improvement.
that the railroad track, or the railroad crew is paving that side of Hickstrom Road on those big holes at the railroad track.
Right.
That's been done today, but that side, that's horrible. And I was told that that was approved to be fixed many years ago. The Hickstrom Road with Herbert over there.
My brother Rent is here. Do you remember when that was discussed with Herbie, when you had your neck surgery?
Yeah.
What year was that, honey?
State your name and address,
Yes.
please.
Name is Reynolds Richardson. I live at 517 Hastings Road in Pierson. We had a meeting with the county and Herman Bennett.
Yep.
It was either 13, sometime in 2013 or 2015, when I had the first or second neck operation I had. We had him to come look at the roadway there between the swamp, if you wanna call it that. The addresses would be between 808 and 517, it'll be almost in the middle. The left-hand side of the road, if you're going north, is falling off into the swamp. You've got the first layer of asphalt that you normally ride on is gone in 3-foot rounds. The right-hand side is still high, but it's got 3-inch deep holes in it. Both culverts are crushed. It is not draining from the west to the east at all. When it rains, it stays underwater 6 inches until it filters out of the ground. That road needs to be dug up, put culverts in, build it up, and make a drainage system through the people that live there and own the property to where it will drain back to where that lake is, where it's supposed to be going. But right now, you've got a telephone pole that is 2 foot off the easement of the road itself, where the worst part of the hole is. Somebody goes down that road at night, doesn't know that water's in that hole, hits it, and that's a liability suit that you'll be eating.
I'm surprised it hasn't already.
It should have been. I have heard them up and down, coming from the south, going north on Hastings Road, because that's like the I-4 for Pierson. They don't do 17, they come down Hastings Road and they zip that, and they're gone. But I hear them when they come down through there, and it's amazing. They're doing 70 and 80. And one day they're gonna hit that water hole. When they do, City of Pierson is gonna get a lawsuit, especially if somebody dies. And I don't wanna see that or hear it. But that needs to be fixed. We talked about it 15 years ago, and nothing ever come of it.
Thank you, Ren, and that definitely, what you said is true, and we can put it down as an agenda item, and then in the meantime, we can go ahead and get Road and Bridge to come and give us some pricing on, doing what needs to be done in that area. Now, we did, if you remember, I think the Vice Mayor will remember, we did at one time look at the improvements there, but when we did look at it, there was not the funding to do it.
That
And,
was my next question.
Yeah,
yeah,
both ends of Pacer
You
Road.
got
There's
one
a
on the
problem.
high end,
Yeah,
the
there's
other
two.
end up there just before that.
Y'all know as good as I do, both ends of that corner.
Ren, that area on the, the road that we're talking about, that runs, right past your home.
That's the north and the south side, and then you got the east and the west going.
So the north and south, that area that's flooding there, are there people, the property owners that have property there between there and it goes toward the lake? Do you think there would be, a willingness to work with the town to get that drainage opened up where the water would flow back where it needs to? Because I talked with somebody just last night, it was, Randy Hutchison, and he said that area is just not draining, and it's all clogged up.
It hasn't drained in years.
Yes,
In 20 years that I know of, it does not drain. The water is right there underneath the roadway. You got loaded dump trucks that go through there for the last year and a half, and they load it with dirt all day.
well, so what's the possibility of the,
I think I can talk to some of my family members that own property on both sides and see if they can touch base with the others that have bought in some of the older property that we used to have, because there was a drain that went out through the woods. It was nothing but an old ditch, but it drained it back to Shar Lake back
To
there,
Shar Lake,
where it did keep that road dry. But when them culverts got crushed, the ground is staying saturated.
so that,
You need to dig a small, swell on each side of that road, and then cut a ditch back through there to where it'll let that water go out, and put some good culverts in it and raise that road about 5 or 6 feet.
well, if you could please do what you're saying, that would be greatly appreciated, and then also we'll get pricing on making the road improvement. But it's a two-way deal with the road improvement and then also the drainage.
Yeah, it's gotta have the drainage, you can build the road up, but it's not gonna last
Because of the water.
And the weaker the ground gets underneath it, the culverts get bigger.
That's correct. Well, if you would please, do what you can.
I'll talk to them and see where we can get going.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ren.
Thank you. Okay. Did you have anything? Okay, at this time, for good and welfare public participation, anybody at this time that would like to speak? Yes, sir.
Ray Leonard, 168 East Second Avenue. Many years ago, when I was on the council, Mr. Mayor, I brought up several road projects that needed to be looked at, Richardson Road being one of them. And at that time, you told me that you were going to get with County Road and Bridges and check on those things. And as of this date, I don't believe that's been done. Maybe it has. If it has, I'm not aware. If it has, I apologize to you.
like to make a comment, Gray, on that.
Yes, sir.
The county we did meet with Herbert, I remember that. And the county gave us a price where we just couldn't afford it.
Well, I've heard.
But I'm not saying, you know, it was swept under the rug, but it's what it seems like it. But I know, I brought it up at our last meeting, our roads are in bad shape.
I know you did.
But it's gonna take a lot of money to fix them. And
Yeah, I was
so
told.
what, Ren, going back to your problem, when Herbert met with them, just the engineering fee was gonna be like $100,000, that was in 15. It's just ridiculous of what the right fix is gonna cost. I made a comment in 2015, what we need to do, just leave the road where it is, go ahead and put another culvert right on top of the old road, build it up to it. You know, you don't have to fix the whole damn road, just fix 100 feet of it.
That's all.
But we can't do that.
I know.
We can't get a permit to do that. You gotta do it the right way, and that's why it wasn't fixed in 15, I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and it's a shame that 8 years later, you know, you're bringing it up again and it's still not fixed, but we've got some serious road problems in the town, and I don't know how we're gonna pay you to fix them. I'll just go ahead and throw that out.
I was told by Herbie that even back then it was somewhere around $250,000.
It was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I know it's expensive.
But I know where you're coming from, because I drive that road a lot, and it's terrible. It's bad. It's bad. That's,
Well, we did do, as the board knows, and even when Gray was on the council, we had a problem then, and we kind of put a Band-Aid on it. We'd go and did some digging to try to alleviate, get the water to drain, but then like Ren said, the water, it couldn't go anywhere. And so we passed the buck because of what the vice mayor said. We looked at the cost, and it was even more than that. And we did not have, financially, we were not able to do that. So I think now things are better, and we can get with Road and Bridge again, which I did get with them, and they gave us pricing. We weren't able to do it, but I think that this is a time that we'll get more pricing, and we'll bring it to the board, and we'll see what we are able to do. That's all we can do.
that's all we can do.
Yes.
Kelly Green, 570 North Pine Street. While we're talking about this, has anybody talked to our grant writer to see if there's a grant available to assist us with this problem? Has anybody spoken to them? Because there's grants for almost anything under the sun out there.
That's
You
true.
just gotta ask.
Well, that's true. However, and Mark could maybe speak to that. When we contract with Fox Enterprise, we made a decision collectively to use grant monies, just like now. We had a grant that we're just finishing up our new water plant. That was a grant. And then you have, the grants are available, it's just not unlimited. So, Mark, could you speak to that as far as?
And you guys asked me to do some research, which I'm not finished with. I'm having a very hard time finding grants other than the community development block grant, which is something that we can look at and talk to Mr. Fox. But once we close out this grant, we can't do anything under the community development.
You said that last time, I don't understand that, because we had those 2 playground grants before, and we still have these.
Those are FERDAP.
Oh, it's different.
Totally different.
Okay, gotcha.
So we have to close out this one. But the reason why there are grants out there, but there are not grants out there for maintenance or cure lack of maintenance. Right? That's the problem. You can get grants to, people who run grant programs want to give money to organizations and see things get built, constructed, made. There's not a lot of, there's not many grant programs that are structured to take care of
Repair,
maintenance
maintenance. So we'd be better off to apply for a grant to just build a new road, rather than to get a grant to repair the road, correct? Isn't that what you're saying?
Probably, that's easier.
That's easier. There you go.
There's a grant
There you
available.
go.
I mean,
It never hurts to look. It never hurts to look.
theoretically, there are other financing options, but I've never heard them. I don't know, they're very difficult, they're expensive, things like bonds, special assessments. I don't know if a special assessment tax is really what, but you have those options. I mean, if you really wanted to get them done, you could consider that, but then you're paying lawyers stuff. And
Well,
that's trouble.
we definitely have some bad roads in our town, and they're not getting any better. And I hope the citizens know that it's not that we don't want to do it, we're just not financially able to.
Town can afford $1 million loss of that.
Yes, Ren?
Insurance.
If you can't rebuild it, look into finding somebody that can cut the drainage for you on the west side.
Okay.
So that way, if we can get everybody to agree to go through or trespass on their property, make a drainage ditch. If you get it draining from the west side, or from the east side going east, it might pull enough that water out where that road will dry up and you could do something with it.
And I think you're exactly right, Ren, and if you could please, talk to the family members or the contacts you have, that would make a tremendous improvement in what we're talking about, because it just doesn't drain.
You gotta get it dry before you can do anything to it. It's
Yeah.
either that or, what he said, put a culvert on top of the road and build the road up 8 foot. But you're talking about
A lot of money.
rock fill and everything else to do it, and then you're still gonna have to build the swells on the side.
Yes.
Where that water can get out.
Well, please work on that, and just let us know as soon as you have something. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? If there's no one else, I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming tonight. It's been a good meeting, and being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.